Okay. Should be all set up. Let's get this party started, yo. I think I fixed the gameplay is ridiculously loud issue that I had last time. Anyway, so when we left off, also welcome to Nioh. Hello. I've played this for about lots of hours, but on air for like 1 hour. When we last left off, we had faced Derek the Executioner for the first time. Human form, even less a thing than a chicken wing. Demon form, oh my god. So, we're gonna watch the intro cutscene because that never actually showed, and then we'll get into the action. Love that intro. So it is worth mentioning that the stream / recording, I don't know if you're watching it live or not, may end early today, just because the wind is blowing exceptionally hard, and that's caused power outages in my area. So if I lose internet, obviously it's going to end the stream. So, you know, just letting y'all know. Let's continue where we last left off. What? Thin armor. Even success. Oh, I didn't know that. Huh. Well, it's a good thing I'm a dodgy little git. Right. Okay. So, head upstairs, and yeah, I should be able to get around those two guys and go straight to the boss fight. What was it? It was, how does plunge attack? Do I have to run or can I just fall? Oh, I'm about to find out. Nope, you can just fall, which is great. And that guy didn't see anything. Let's go say hi to Derek, shall we? My man. Okay. Let this play again, and every time after this, I'm gonna skip this.
Ah, it's you. The man with the guardian spirit.
If I die, the secret of the stones dies with me.
Let me show you what these stones can do. Behold. It's time for your execution.
Okay, for real though, how much must it hurt to have that just shoved inside of your body? No, 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 no. Yep. Come on. Ooh. Somebody's angry. Woo! Sorry for not talking a whole bunch. I'm trying to focus on myrtleizing this guy. Okay. Circle and triangle. That's the way it works. I love you, you beautiful fish girl. That looked like it hurt.
Oh, well done. Quite a feat. So this spirit shall guide me to the kingdom of gold.
The journey was not an enjoyable one. During 2 years' voyage, the Helloff was lost. The trow sank, while the hope vanished without a trace. The good news of the Blythe Boatshap was nothing but lies. Only Leifta remained. An ironic twist. For what awaited us in the Far East wasn't love. It was monsters and death.
Now the real fun begins. Oh, right. So this is essentially class select. Well, sort of, as much as there are classes. Before I begin my preparations for landfall, I leaf once more through that curious book I had chanced upon. Recorded inside are the memoirs of a sailor who had once paid a visit to the land of Zipangu. Zipangu. I am not a native Japanese speaker, as you can tell. Precisely how this document wound up in the hold of this ship when its author clearly belonged to the crew of a different boat is beyond me. But here I am, poring over its pages all the same. And not for the first time of this voyage, I may add. What fascinated me above all else were the memoirs' many accounts of Zimpangu's armor and weaponry. So, here you choose your main weapon. And what it means in this game is you can use any weapon you want fairly equally, but you will always have just a slight advantage. In fact, you see it's only a +1 to whatever you happen to choose through all of these. You will have a slight, very slight advantage in the weapon that you choose in this initial stream. Now, I'll be going over the pros and cons of, the different kinds as far as I've used them. Like I said, I've played this game for many hours, but have not actually gotten very far in the story. I mostly screwed around and died a lot, and that's what made me think, hey, it'd be great for this series. So, swords are, they're swords. It's a katana, in this game at least. They're basically the beginner's weapon. Is if you've never played the game before, use this. It's similar to the, in the way that it's used, it's similar to the sword and shield build in Dark Souls. Dual swords are slightly more difficult to use. They don't have as great a blocking capacity. However, they attack extraordinarily quickly. So you can deal a lot of damage over a short period of time. And depending on how you use them, you can actually use very little ki, which means that you will inevitably be able to fight more. It's just la 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 la. It's the substitute for stamina in this game. Spears are mostly not long-range weapons. There are actual ranged weapons in this game, but mid-range melee weapons, I would say. It attacks pretty slowly, honestly, if you ask me. Not as slowly as, say, the axe or the odachi, but it's slow enough that I don't generally use them. Another bad thing is, if you happen to be in tight quarters, and trust me, it happens a lot, it will just bounce off stuff. Like, you go to swing your spear, because it doesn't really thrust. I think the only way to thrust is to be moving forward and use a heavy attack, and that uses up a lot of stamina. So it's not, my favored weapon, because I end up in tight quarters a lot. The axe has kind of a similar problem. It's really slow to swing. It's the slowest by far. It doesn't so much bounce off stuff as it just kind of feels cumbersome to me. It's generally so heavy and slow that I use axes very rarely. In fact, my most common build is a sword combined with dual swords or tonfa, which I'll get into in a bit. But it's extraordinarily high attack power. It hits very hard. It does use up quite a considerable amount of ki or stamina, but it's worth it if you can land the hits. The Kasuragama is the chain sickle, is what a lot of people would call it. Great for ki. It does not use up very much stamina at all during the playstyle. However, it's very difficult for beginners to use. It's like, seriously, I've put a lot of hours into this game. I am still just awful with the Kasuragama, which means I may end up using it just to force myself to do more push-ups. But it's the typical what people think of when they think of like ninjas. It's the Kasuragama, and that's, other than throwing stars, obviously. The Odachi is the best I can describe it is it's a Japanese great sword, or a bastard sword even. If we're going with European terminologies. It's just, I mean, it's a massive, in this picture, katana. There's other kinds available, but, you know, it's just very big. It has a wonderfully high defense just because of how big its blade is, or how long its blade is, rather. But, again, it's kind of slow. It's not as slow as, like, the axe or the spear, but it is slower than I typically prefer. I probably won't use them because the axe, the odachi, or the, no, I'm sorry, yeah, the axe, the odachi, and the spear are not generally my jive, my groove, because, I mean, A, they just kind of look odd attached to a character, and B, they are just not as fast as I wish that they were. And finally, we have the tonfa. They look a lot like police batons that you would see in the U.S., and they are actually designed so that when you hold on to the pegs that stick out, the long end goes down your forearm towards your elbow. And that's just kind of walking around, and then as you swing them, you can either punch with them, and they are not equivalent to like brass knuckles, but similar, as that shorter end will let you punch, or people who are good at using them, not me, good at using them in real life, I'm okay in the game, can swing them around so that the elongated end is towards the front, and then they become a bludgeoning weapon akin to, say, a baseball bat, albeit with a very odd handle. So, what I'm going to do is, let's see, I don't want to use the Udachi. I might use the Kasurigama just because I am not good with it, and, you know, the whole point of this series is so that you guys can watch me do many, many push-ups. I'm not to brag, I'm good with the sword. I am good with most of its skills. A little farther into the level up system, you get not instant kill attacks, but very rapid counter attacks. And if an enemy's health is low enough, it will kill them immediately. So those are nice. Dual swords, kind of similar. I used them a fair bit in my original starting to figure this game out, so I think what I'm going to go with is the Kasurigama. And once again, I'm probably butchering all of these words because, again, I am, you know, I was born and raised in the middle of America, so not so much with the native Japanese speaking. Yeah, I'll go with the Kasurigama, and then I'll probably have my backup weapon as some sort of regular sword, this one. Just so that if I get in a tight pinch or like a boss is starting to really irritate me, I can fight my way out of that pickle and then go back to doing the push-ups. So, we'll go ahead and do that. The sailor from the memoir seems to have spent quite some time in Zipangu and succeeded in keeping the company of samurai. He writes in detail of establishments in Zipangu called dojo, where people, including samurai, congregate for instruction in the martial disciplines. Just reading the sailor's vivid accounts, I feel as though I'm there in the flesh, watching these warriors as they train. The samurai is a master of many armaments, and trains for combat with every imaginable scenario. If I were to use another weapon, which one would I choose? So this is, you know, again, choose your primary backup weapon is essentially how this works. And I already have gone over all these. Just being a backup weapon does not change their descriptions or stats in any way, shape, or form. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the sword, just because I'm okay with them. The memoir also asserts that the samurai are knowledgeable in the martial arts. First, they know which fighting stance to use in each situation, high, mid, or low. Second, after each attack, they ready themselves for the next strike by focusing their ki, or inner energy. Third, once their ki is readied, the samurai can use purification techniques to rid their surroundings of malevolence. I know not how to explain it, but I feel as though I have some innate ability to grasp all of these concepts, and have experimented many times with each technique. The memoir states Zipangu is home to 8 million gods and other deities. Exactly how this figure was derived, I can only imagine, but as I cast my gaze to the shore, I am struck by the sensation that some mystical power has been keeping watch over me. It is an energy that reminds me of Cyrus. I'm going to say Cyrus because I am unable to pronounce Gaelic. I pull out the memoir once more and survey each page until I arrive at the guardian spirit that best matches the force I am sensing. So, the way this game works, as opposed to the Dark Souls game, is you have your guardian spirit. And what they do is essentially the same as, say, your souls in Dark Souls. They are what helps you gather Amrita and level up. You cannot level up unless you have your guardian spirit. And in fact, your guardian spirit will return to you every time you're at a shrine at the loss of any of the Amrita you've left in the world. So essentially what that means is you cannot use any special guardian spirit abilities like this one, the Kato, which is apparently a wolf, will boost your strength. So you generally do more damage while you have your guardian spirit with you. The other ones do a couple of other things. Let me see. The Isodani. That's not right. Isonade. I'm gonna go with Isonade. Is a shark. Obviously, you can see the picture. And it, allows you while you have it, because when you die, you lose it until you can get back to that spot, similar to reclaiming souls. So while you have it equipped, for lack of a better term, there's a small mini-map that will show you the general location of enemies, which is very, very useful. And then there's the Diabawashi, maybe, and it's a hawk, obviously. And it lets you dodge around better. Essentially, this one lets you use less stamina for every dodge action that you take, which is wonderfully convenient if you are a dodgy git like I am. So, God, I've been hanging out with my British friends too much. So, another thing is that you'll notice this one is wind, this one is water, and this one is fire. There is a slight rock, paper, scissors style thing that goes on. And the different elements do different things. I think fire is damage over time. Water is a stamina drain, because your enemies also have stamina. And wind is... I don't remember what wind is. Wind may just be straight increased damage. And like I said, there's a Pokemon effect. I don't remember what it is right now. I know water beats fire, wind beats water, and fire beats wind, I think. There's also, I think, earth, thunder, and at least one that I'm forgetting about. And those are useful because you can actually have weapons imbued with fire or water or earth or whatever. It's just part of the game is figuring out, oh, this boss is weak to lightning, I should use a lightning weapon. Or, oh, this boss is really strong against lightning. In no way, shape, or form should I use lightning right here. So it's, Pokemon-y. I'm going to go with the Diabawashi just because I like the dodging. Okay. So a Kasuragama, a sword, a Diabawashi, and those are my bonuses. So the Diabawashi, I'm never going to get that right, gives you a plus to skill, sword gives you a plus to heart, Kasuragama gives you a plus to dexterity, and those are the essentially starting bonus attributes I have decided on just for this playthrough. I'm going to go ahead and begin the tutorial mission just because, I want you guys to get the full experience. You can, hopefully, as the series goes on, you will be able to experience the entirety of this game through this. So I'm not going to be skipping any levels if I'm able to. I may have to leave a level and revisit it once I get stronger, but for the most part, I'll be playing each level in sequence. So, Whew, here we go. Maybe. Yeah. Okay, so this actually starts you in the dojo, which is nice. Dojo, training ground for samurai, is filled with the blood, sweat, and tears of uncounted warriors who polish their techniques within its walls. These long traditions and secrets are handed down from generation to generation of samurai. And apparently, this Irishman is a samurai. Look at him. Okay. So, let's pick up our weapons here. Okay, so it's going to force me to train with the sword at first, it looks like. Combat titles have been unlocked. Blah-de-da-de-da. I've obtained a combat title. Yeah, okay. That's online stuff, which I will mostly not be using. Wooden sword. Lovely. And I don't have anything else at all, do I? Okay. Okay, so this just teaches you how to attack. Obviously, there's a little movie that you can see. And it just explains quick attacks and strong attacks, as if you've never played a video game before. Oops. Hello. How are you? Wow. 3 strikes and he's down. Okay. Alright. Okay, so that teaches you lock on, which I've been kind of just doing on my own, which is that little circle that appears above the people. Oh, and you can only see their health and key when you're locked on, apparently, which I didn't notice, but that's fair. There's one. So, oh yeah, it does disappear. How about that? Okay. If I remember right, I can, yeah. Whack them quick. There we go. On to the next tutorial. Which is where exactly? Oh, I've covered my mini-map with my push-ups thing. Crap. Okay, there it is. Yeah. I might, Hang on a second, guys. I think I'm gonna move my push-ups down to, where the stance indicator is, just because I typically don't look at that. So give me just 1 second here. Okay, yeah, that should work better. Okay, so push-ups are now in the bottom right, because that mini-map is useful for finding my objective. What? Oh, there he is. Okay, guard and dodge. This really is the most basic of combat tutorials. There we go. Oh, there's another one. Audio cues! And down he goes. Excellent. Why are there so many of them? Fine. Oh, did I have to actually block his... Yeah. I was dodging by instinct and not actually letting them touch me. Okay, so this is the stances, which is a very different combat mechanic than is in Dark Souls, so let me explain that real quick. Basically, high stance is, well, I mean, it says right here, high stance is attack power, medium stance is defense, and low stance is dodging. So typically I stick in mid and low stance because I would rather survive than go for attack power, but for this playthrough, hopefully I'll be able to break my habit of that because, you know, I want to do those push-ups for you guys. So, high stance typically uses up more ki, allowing you, or restricting the amount of attacks you can do at a time, but the trade-off is you do increased damage. So it's I mean, it's a good trade. It's generally the same DPS and damage per rest rather than just damage per second as I would say mid stance is. Mid stance, obviously, it says right there, good for defense. And its whole thing is, while you're in mid stance, at least with the sword, there's a variety of skills that you can use, such as deflection and backslash. So you would be able to, say, deflect an enemy to where they are now behind you, and then flip your sword around and thrust behind you, like in the cool kung fu movies. And now you've just stabbed that guy in the back for massive damage. Low stance is it is the slippery man stance, and if you're in low stance, you can pretty much move like you were water. Essentially, you just kind of flow around the battle, and enemies don't so much get a chance to touch you because you're moving quickly, and when they do hit you, the guard is kind of already up, and it's I played with it a lot. I like that one. There's the movie that I guess I could have been playing the whole time. And you can actually see that... Oh my god! So, this is what high stance looks like, medium stance, and low stance. So you guys will be able to see what I'm doing. And then, of course, there's sheath, which you can also pull. So, it wants me to attack in high stance at first, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oh, it might want me to kill this guy. There we go. And of course there's different button combos. I typically do quick attack, quick attack, quick attack, just because that's my jam. Here we go. Next one is low stance. So you'll see it's much shorter attacks. The range of motion isn't as great, but you attack quite rapidly. And as you move around, you are not using up as much stamina. The dodges are faster and feel more fluid than, say, medium stance, where you jerk to the side. Low stance, you actually flow around them, and it's just generally quite great. Now, you see there, that is the same combo I did with high stance, and he's still standing. That's because low stance is actually low damage. The damage output can actually be described by its name: high, medium, and low. Regardless of that, low stance is useful for, you know, when you get into a tight spot, or if you're walking around and not sure what enemies may come. Your guard pretty much stays intact, and when actually guarding, you move slow. Low stance brings up guard comparatively fast to the other two, because see how slow that is versus how fast that is, which you might not be able to see a difference, but it's there, trust me. And where's the next? There it is. Oh dear. Okay, mid stance, here we go. And mid stance is what you have seen me fighting in, because in the England level you can't do anything other than medium stance, so I'm not going to super describe that. Here we go. Yes, so key pulse, very important. You can use it to do a lot of things. Mostly, it rejuvenates your stamina extremely quickly, which the movie will show. And, oh, I'm sorry, it signals that the the key stamina is coming back at the start, and then also when it gathers around you like that, you can do a perfect pulse, which, if you look at it, actually rewinds a lot of your attacks, and it jumpstarts your stamina regen. So if I were to just attack until I'm out of stamina here, it takes that long for it to come back. But then if I do a key pulse, let's see, out of stamina, you get about half of it back instantly, and that was a bad one, so let me do a good one. There we go. That was a good 3/4 of your stamina was back, just like that. Very useful for long combat. Oh, and also, if you do a perfect key pulse, which is the one where it shows the after images, you can actually purify I've been calling them underworld zones, but I guess these are yokai realm, which yokai are, I don't know the exact definition, but they're monsters and ghosts and such in Japanese mythos. So it's very nice because while you're in the yokai realm, you actually can't regain stamina. Or you can, but it's so slow as you may as well not. Here's the little movie there. I really should be playing these as I explain. There. See? It disappears. Yeah, we're about to do that real quick. He does his thing. And pulse. And it has dispelled the area, which is super nice. Where do I go next? There we go. An axe. Okay. So I bet this teaches me how to switch weapons. And yes, in the dojo you can use a bunch of, Hi. Yeah, you can use a bunch of different weapons. So, is it that one? Yeah, there you go. And they're all made of wood, which is hilarious. There we go. See, the axe does much more damage. Where's the next? There it is. Okay, so shooting weapons, very important. Very, kind of hard to master, too. It's no Call of Duty, let me tell you that. It makes sense. It's, to put it in Call of Duty controls, you can't shoot unless you're aiming down sight. And, you know, there's, I think, guns and bows. Yeah, I'll play the movie. There's headshot damage exists, and there's also, oh look, he's doing it right there. It can also be used as a distraction. And then there's also a bunch of different type of ranged weapons. So I think there's like a literal cannon that you can get at some point, which is pretty cool. Arrows, longbow, rifle. Into the storehouse, into the storehouse, into the storehouse, into the storehouse, into the storehouse. There we go. Okay, so if we want to do your ranged weapon, we're going to put on a matchlock and a longbow. Just because apparently that's what we're doing. And now I have to shoot those dudes. So we're going to... It's kind of hard to see them, they're in the fog. But so when the... notice the middle of the reticle is white. And even when it's on an enemy, it's white. Unless you're going to hit a critical spot. Now, on humans, it's always the head. And on these particular monsters, it is also the head. But not always the case. But the head does massive damage, as you've just seen. So that was over 3,000 damage. Just in the body, 500 damage. So, you know. Quite a difference doing headshots. And you should absolutely... Can't jump. You should absolutely go for headshots whenever you get the chance. I want my sword back, thank you. What's this? Spirit Stone. Yes. I have to equip things. Spirit Stone. So, this is the equivalent of, like... the Spirit Stones are the equivalent of the, not named souls, dropped souls that you can find. So there's like the soul, the night soul. I think there's a dragon soul that I wouldn't swear to it in Dark Souls. And so you consume those, and what that does is it gives you that amount of souls, or in this case, Amrita. And it it's just a boost. At early levels, the small ones are nice. They give you 100. At later levels, you know, it's... I don't know where my counter is. My counter under my camera? That's annoying. Yeah, yep. I'm not seeing... Well, whatever. Spirit Stones also fill up your spirit gauge. Like, up at the top, you see my... Oh god, what was it? Wabadashi? Wabadashi, I'm gonna go with... Whatever. My, Windbird, Windhawk spirit thing, has filled up now, because the Spirit Stones also increase that. And you have to slowly fill that over time or by dealing damage. So, there we go. Living weapon. Guardian Spirit, Amrita Gauge, press, that combination. And if you push it again, you do a skill. However, that does deplete it immediately. Play movie. It's actually really, really cool to use because it makes you feel kind of like a superhero. You're fighting a boss, and then all of a sudden, you whip out magic sword powers. It's generally pretty cool. And the skill can do everything from, like, massive damage to immediately healing you, which is only slightly ridiculous. Oh, look at that wind blade. What the? So you'll see those green numbers, maybe they're yellow, I'm colorblind, I can't tell. Those green numbers underneath the white ones represent the wind damage that you're doing. And there's that gauge at the top actually decreases, and once it's empty, you'll notice the spirit weapon goes away. But so the different elements all do their different colored damage in their particular color below the base damage that is dealt by whatever weapons you happen to be using. So, that's it for the tutorial. Let's get into the meat of the game, because everything up till this point, including the first boss battle and the entire London scene, have in fact been tutorials. And possibly story setup. Oh, and I have to choose to close the memoir. Once again, I did the Kasuragama sword and Diabawashi. That's what it was, Diabawashi. Actually, so Kasuragama's dexterity. Do any of these raise dexterity? Skill, spirit, and strength. Nope. So I'm going to go with the Diabawashi because I am a dodgy mofo. Close. Yes, this is okay. The dinghies have been readied for us to make landfall. For all I have read on this country, nothing can truly prepare me for what now lies ahead. I put the memoir down and leave my cabin. Kiroshima is a tiny island off the coast of, not even gonna try, in Kyushu's Bungo province. There's little in the way of usable land, with coastline rapidly giving way to cliffs and mountains. Clinging to its edge is the smallest of fishing villages, its residents eking out subsistence farming on plots carved out from the hills. Their frugal lives stand in stark contrast to the village elder, whose opulent mansion perches atop the island's tallest peak. Strangely oversized for the small island which it overlooks. That's a comma, not a period. Okay. Game on. There's your first, what's it over there? Alright. Apparently, they've taken everything. Skill points obtained. Oh yeah, so I've got skill points, which I'll do in just 1 second here. Oh god, I have no idea how to use this thing. Okay, high stance. Oh dear god. This is gonna get me killed. Which, to be fair, was the plan, so... That is just super cool, by the way. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so these are the other shrines that you've seen in the London are not exactly accurate to the rest of the game. This is generally what they look like, and they've got these little dudes on them, which are the most adorable mothers that I've ever seen. So I need another. So you see my Amrita there is 200. I need another 50 to level. And like I said, these are the bonfires, and at the bonfires you can change your equipment like the Guardian Spirit, which I've only got the one. but you're not usually able to change that. You have to visit a shrine to change that kind of thing. You can also make an offering. So in this game, what you can do is you can essentially burn items. Like, say you have a low-level sword that you haven't used in like 3 hours, because trust me, it only takes that long in this game. You haven't used it in forever. So you can actually offer it to the shrine, and that will give you the Amrita, the currency, which is a great way because you can only hold 500 items at the beginning, and the more you offer, the more cool stuff you get. Oh, actually, that's DLC items, but there's a thing right here that lets you do that, I think. And so the more cool stuff that you can do, the more offerings you make, and it also just generally gives you the equivalent of experience points, which is wunderbar. So I'm going to, like I said, I need 250, but I'm pretty sure, let's use an item. Yep, I got a spirit stone, which has 100. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And then I'm going to level up. And the first thing I'm going to increase is... oh, is it dexterity? Yeah, the first thing I'm going to increase is dexterity for the Kasurigama. Oh boy, because that's what I'm using apparently, son of a bitch. And I'll probably alternate between, what is this? Which one does health? I forget. Yeah, okay, so I'll probably be switching between dexterity, magic, and spirit or heart, as heart is the one that is, the base sword. And then dexterity is the Kasurigama, and magic is actually, like, you know, you can use magic in this game. It's not a thing that you have to choose at the beginning of the game like in Dark Souls. So that's nice. And then, obviously, spirit is useful because you want your guardian spirit to be buff. So right now I'm going to go ahead and level dexterity. And that will increase, you'll see on the right, oh, all of them increase life. What increases life the most? 10, 25, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 40. Okay, so I'll be doing body, heart, dexterity primarily, and then once I start unlocking magic, I'll start leveling that up. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and do dexterity. Yes. Okay, oh yeah, and let me just show you this. So I've already pushed the button, and I can't take that back, and I wish I could. But you'll see there's ninjutsu power and Omnio magic power, which is, Omnio is, I'm absolutely saying that wrong, but it's all I got. Omnio is the equivalent of like a priest, and they actually are employed by shrines and such, and in fact live there, to cleanse yokai. So it's, generally magic is strong against the demons in the game, and also some of the magic power that is displayed right there you can use to enhance your weapons with elemental abilities, which is, for a short time at least, which is very nice. And then ninjutsu, it's tricks. It's not actual, like, Naruto skills. I'm sorry, I will not be doing shadow clones. But it's things like shurikens, kunai knives, anti-poison pills. There might, in fact, be, like, a poison oil that you can put on your blades. I don't remember very well. And it's generally, like... I mean, it's ninja stuff, but real ninja things, not anime ninja things, which is a nice distinction. And in fact, if you want to learn the difference between those two things, go watch Gaijin Goomba. He's not sponsoring me or anything, I just enjoy his stuff. Because he's cool, and it's actually where I learned most of the random Japanese trivia that I will be spouting throughout this entire playthrough, because it's Japanese. Okay, come on, search, here we go. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so you'll be seeing a lot of tutorial repeats because they... Oh my god, I just realized I don't know how to fight with this weapon. Oh, shit. Okay, well, let's... Like that, apparently. Alright. That'll do, pig. That will do. So, yeah, there it is. I can see it. So there's actually, below my camera, which I will not be moving again because I don't care how much Emerita or money I have. I only care where my map is. You can see that... Oh, I've got skills that I need to level up too. You can see there's actually money is different from your level up XP in this game, which is a wonderful change of pace, as I never knew if I should buy things or level up. And this game takes care of that. You don't have to choose. It's two entirely different currency systems. So I'm going to go ahead and learn some skills. I want to learn... Flux. Oh, man. Sword. Okay, Kasuragama. Let's see here. Grapples an enemy who's out of key. Okay, so it's a... Well, here. Let's show. It's a finishing blow, essentially, for anybody who's out of stamina. Very nice. What the hell is this? Stance. Okay, so the stance is... Key pulse. Makes sense. Purify. Flux. So this is... What is this? Yes. It's the amount of key that you recover, which it said over there. I wish I'd been paying attention. So there's different skills that you can learn depending on, which weapon you use. Some of them are universal, like Flux. There's a Flux for every single, there it is, weapon, but you do have to get them individually. So I would have to get a Flux for Sword and a Flux for Kasuragama in order to have them available to me. And then there's some that are unique, like Serpent Strike. That is not available in any way, shape, or form under the sword category. But there's a sword equivalent, which is... Is that it? No. Heaven. I think. Or Living Water. One of the two. It's... You know, all their skills are different skill trees. It makes sense, trust me. So, what I'm going to do is... High stance. That's awesome. So it's a grappling hook. Mid stance activates when you recover full key. So you can raise damage. Mid stance. Okay, so I'm actually going to play without this for a while. About 20 minutes, which should be enough to get us to the next shrine at least. And after we've... and I'll level up between streams and learn skills and such. And I'll be sure to tell you guys what I've done. I'll make sure to note it so that you guys aren't curious as, why are you suddenly able to do this thing all of a sudden? Well, it's because I got that particular skill. And for the most part, I might do that with armor. But what's the rate? Wait. So it's up to 16, but it weighs 4. I want to be a light build. Okay, I don't want to go over... Let's see what else we got down. Yeah. Quite a lot. I mean, it is only medium armor. So, to be fair, it's the best I'm going to do right now. And I can be more picky when I have more armor that is, you know, lighter and such. So, we're going to go ahead and... Oh, elixirs are... this is the thing. You can only carry 8. There it is. It's essentially medicine. You get 3 whenever you visit a shrine, but only if you have less than 3. So it refills you to 3 if you visit a shrine, which is nice. And then stones I just have. So let's go ahead and... I'm in mid stance. Yeah, mid stance is gonna work, I guess. Or not. I want to be able to break these things. God, I'm going to have a hard time learning this combo. Oof. Light attack, strong attack, followed by light attacks? Probably not. Okay. Let's go with mid stance for now. guy right there. I'm gonna search this guy first though. Yes, teaching me how to attack. So, you actually do walk quieter when you're guarding, so I'm gonna see if I can stealth kill this mope. Doesn't look like it. Okay, well, I can at the very least kill him. I could have sworn his buddy would react to that, but apparently not. Ah, now his buddy reacts. Wow, this actually got some decent range on it. Okay, I can figure out how to use this weapon. It wouldn't kill me. Yeah, of course, sacred water. What does sacred water do? Yes, oh, it's stamina potion, basically, which is nice. I don't think I'll need it for now. Okay, so, another fun thing is, haha! Recognize this guy? There are Kodama all around the game. And there's a certain number per level, I don't remember exactly the number. But every time you find one, when you find enough of them, you get a bonus for that level. So right now, I have either one or two, I don't exactly remember, because I don't remember if the first one that is always there counts or not. But you can find them around, and in fact, there's some gear that will actually put them on your radar, which is quite nice. Yes, I know I'm very knowledgeable of this game. I am actually slightly embarrassed of that, because it shows just how big a geek I am. Oh man, wanted in that chest. Guess not though. Okay, let's continue on up. Come on. There we go. Search this guy. I thought he was too young. I should have. Oh, so it teaches you how to change the stance. And oh, okay. Sup? That is so low stance. Just attacks so fast with this. My God, I love it. Kind of. Let's actually break this and see if we can't get any money out of it. Nope. Go ahead and switch to low stance real quick. Okay, now there's this guy over here. Oh, damn! It's so blindingly fast. That's so good. I might actually have to switch to a different weapon just so that I am not walking through these guys. What is that? Just a regular sword, looks like. Yeah. Oh, my baby. Okay. I might switch to... what other weapons? Like dual swords, which... well, no, dual swords are kind of... all of the weapons are pretty easy to use and pretty similar to each other. Yeah, that guy's level 5. Okay, so this is a bloody grave. You can actually fight... because to the best of my knowledge, you can't actually be invaded in this game because it's so story-driven. They didn't want to break the story like that. However, you can choose to fight bloody remnants, or revenants. Yeah. Which happen when the same player is killed enough times in the same place, or close enough to the same place. They will eventually leave a revenant, which other players can fight. And that gear that you see flying around, the green feet, arms, weapon, helmet, chest, and blue pants, reflects the level of the gear that he has. And one of those is randomly selected to drop if you defeat that revenant. Which is cool. Oh, there's a guy up there. Okay, well, we're going this way anyway. Oh my God! Oh! Okay, so I was going to attack those guys, but this guy's here. Yeah, that's a little overpowered. I'm going to have to not use this weapon. Because it is, in fact, ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I shouldn't be able to do that. With just about any other weapon, you don't stand a chance against two guys. but I just erased that one guy almost immediately. So, let's go ahead and switch to the sword, because it's much slower. And the next kind of weapon that we find, we'll switch to that, and that will be our new main weapon. How fun! I'm actually kind of disappointed that I didn't use the Surigama more, because it's apparently badass. Alright, let's see. Spirit Stone. I guess a spear is now going to be our weapon of choice. Yay. I don't like spears. What did I just get? Pants? Yay, pants. Ugh, I'm officially in a medium armor range. If you look at that percentage, the colors changed from blue to yellow at some point. Oh, right then. And that's, you're considered at medium armor versus, say, light or heavy armor. And I prefer light armor, just because of the key usage. So let's. That's not what I wanted to do. Go ahead and switch to. Is that the spear? Yeah. Okay. We will. That also looks pretty heavily overpowered. Oh well. So that dude. Nothing can do to get in here. That sounds like a baby crying and it freaks me out. I came from down there. Alright, let's head this way. What's up, bro? Oops. This guy isn't your common bandit, it looks like. It looks like he actually uses techniques and blocks. And he changes stances too. Let's go ahead and use low stance real quick. Oh yes, and while you're blocking, or while you're holding block, you... Oh my god! Don't, really regenerate stamina to any... Sorry, fighting, can't talk. You don't regenerate stamina in any meaningful way, which is extraordinarily irritating. Because I would like to do that. Come on, buddy. Let's switch to that real quick. There we go. Aha! High stance. What up? Okay, so, and Uchika powder. Don't know what that does. Head armor. Gonna do that. Ugh. Medium armor. All my hate. At least this is the same weight, though. Gross. Okay, so I'm gonna continue to use the spear, unless we decide that it's too overpowered. In which case I'll switch to something else at some point. Okay, so I can go that way. It looks like there's a path there. Or I can go that way. In the interest of getting to the next shrine, I'm gonna go this way. Just because I happen to know it's in this direction. Because we're going to stop when we get to the next shrine, actually. Yes. What's up, bro? Okay, so maybe everything is overpowered. It is quite the possibility. And if that's the case, I might switch back to the Surigama. In the shack in the woods, I'll get it and type back. Okay, so they're actually giving you hints. There's something in the shack in the woods. I presume these woods. There's another dude right there. Let's see if I can sneak up on him. Survey says, yup! And I love that dodge in action. Okay, let's actually take a medicine real quick, just to top off on health. Yeah, you know, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so there's that, oh my god, I saw that grass moving and I thought it was new. So there's that soldier, chilling out right there. But what I bet you didn't see was up there is a guy with a bow. And it's actually very hard to fight against both of those things at once, so I'm going to see if I can just draw him out. Nope, bow guy's watching me too. So, oh my god, you hit like a truck. I'm out of key, because high stance sucks. Stab him on the ground. There we go. Massive damage. Yay. Now, if only I had a bow. Let's call it middle stance. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and switch. Should I switch back? We'll play with the spear for the rest of this episode. And then in the comments, assuming anybody actually watches this, who knows, it might get 0 views. Which wouldn't that be fun? Assuming anybody actually watches this, comment and tell me if you think I... Actually, go ahead and do this. Tell me what should my primary weapon be. And then whatever weapon gets the most votes, I will go ahead and use that as my primary weapon in this playthrough. And... Shadow of the Gods wearing... What? Oh, this is talking about the little cute green dude. If you guys choose something other than like, oh my god! If you guys choose something other than sword or Kusurigama, I may, or whatever is affected by spirit. I don't know what weapons are affected by spirit actually. And there's no way to find out, is there? Crap on the stick. Okay, anyway. I have a plus in heart, dexterity, and spirit at the moment. If you guys choose a weapon that isn't advantaged, doesn't get a bonus from those, I may play through until I reach the point that we're going to stop at and have that bonus, just so that it's, you know, a game. It doesn't super matter because it's just basically an extra level. So I'll leave that up to you. Choose the weapon that I'm going to use, and also let me know if you think I should be allowed to restart in order to essentially gain proficiency with that weapon in the form of die, mother puss bucket, in the form of, oh my god, please, really? Give me a second here. There we go. Gain proficiency in that weapon in the form of choosing it as my primary weapon at the start screen. Ha! I don't have that ability anymore. There we go. Down he goes. Okay, so it looks like start off with a strong attack. That's the way to go. And you already saw that. There we go. There it is. Now I've got a fighting chance. So now I actually do have a ranged weapon. So yeah, in the comments, I know I've said this 1,000 times, but I feel like I haven't finished my thought yet. In the comments, let me know what weapon I should use as my primary weapon, and whether or not you think it would be okay for me to, whether or not you think it would be okay for me to restart in order to gain that bonus level, essentially. So, oh, I should shoot this guy. Why shouldn't I shoot this guy? There's no reason not to just end that guy. There we go. Doopy doopy doop. Now I can get these items. There's his body. Creepy. And then we will head up to the shrine, which is just right up here. And we'll call... Hello? Level 6. No. I'm level 2 right now. Not dealing with that. Though I think, if that says 1,000 down there below my push-up camera, I will be able to level up at least once at the shrine. Okay, so we should be... Yep, there it is. So we're going to stop it here. I didn't die at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just do 20 push-ups just because, you know, this series is all about forcing my fat gamer body to get in shape. So I'm going to pray at the shrine, which will keep any enemies from killing me while I'm not looking. And I'm going to go ahead and do 20 push-ups. Receive Kodama Blessing. Which is this. And, oh, right. Okay, so I'll explain this real quick before I do my push-ups. The way that this works is each kind of Kodama has a different bowl on his head. I call them hats, but it's actually a bowl. And for every one, the blessing goes up. So here it says, with the Oracle, the amount of Amrita acquired goes up by, I think it's 1, 5, something. It increases, basically, depending on how many you've saved with that particular hat. And then the weapon rate increases by that particular, by however many according to that particular hat. The armor rate, so on and so forth. Potion rate and materials, which you can actually use in the blacksmith. So right now I have saved one guy out of a possible 9 dudes. And I think that's just in this level. But across the continent that I'm on, there will be multiple levels, and eventually I'll be able to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in each one of these categories on this continent. And then when I move to a next continent, I assume it will drop off. Anyway, so that's how that works. I just wanted to point that out. That's why you're actually saving these guys. They give you pretty great bonuses. So, and we're going to call it good. What did I say, 20? We're going to do 20. Okay, there's my 20 push-ups as punishment for not dying. Whew. So, we're going to stop it there. I'm going to do level up things, and then I'll see you guys in, this is Wednesday, 2 days, on Friday. And we'll pick up from exactly right here. See you guys.